when we started doing the initial meetings too, Joel, and asking clients about what peed off you about your last renovation, and then they're like, "Oh, the builder came in with a big variation at the end, and then they hit it with a big bill." And what we're trying to do here is sit down first in the initial meeting, learn everything about your must wants, everything that we can find out. Then we try and find out the budget, Joel. As you know, we believe there's two budgets, and then from there, then we come to site. We do a site visit, see from my eyes, from my experience. Some clients want an on-site estimate there and then, but we can't really do that because the last thing, Joel, we want to do is upset people and give them a price, and then when we do a detailed proposal of the whole job, um, if we give that estimate on site and then we do a detailed proposal and it's over the budget, they can come back and go, well, Andy, you said this, and we don't like to do that. So that's what we're doing over here, Joel. I think you're on the same par as us. How are you finding that system of doing the detailed proposal and bringing it back to the clients and showing them of what you've done and that's on your list?
Yeah, I'm just going to go back to what you're talking about with the on-site estimate. So many people ask, can you just give us a budget cost? And for certain things, I can, roughly looking at it, X amount for especially bathrooms. Like bathrooms are they're similar. It normally just comes back to selections, but I normally just go say to people, especially with big renos and extensions and whatever else, and it's like I pretty much end up with the question now: do you want me to give you a figure that makes you happy, or do you want me to give you a figure that's disappointed? Because either way, they'll end up switching. I can say X amount, and I know a lot of people are trying to like they don't do it all the time, so they really just want to know a figure that sometimes be able to figure out can we even actually afford it? Is it going to be possible without going through the whole planning and drafting stage and everything? Can we just have a ballpark? And I think I did one with Quadrio and this on another podcast about this. And how can a builder give price without how can they give price without plans? We just can't do it. It's just like trying to play a game of soccer without the soccer ball. It's just there's too many factors. There's too much stuff. There's all the engineering. There's everything. To so many cogs that have got to be turning all together that for it to all align. And then all your selections, selections can vary phenomenally.
I know.
It can.
I see you can buy one because you can buy a tap for $100, or you can buy a tap for $800.
Yeah, it's just and then you give people selections. The best part I like is when you give them the selections, what they've picked on the quote, and they go, "Oh, I might have to rethink what I've picked." They've picked $8,000 worth of selections for their bathroom, and they haven't even paid for any labour yet.
I know.
And a lot of people think it's going to be costing $10,000 to do a bathroom reno. And then they see that and they're like, "Oh, maybe I was being a little bit optimistic."
Yeah,
it's understandable. People, talk to people and they go, "Oh, no, it's only $10,000," until they talk to someone that's actually gone through it, and they're like, "Oh, right." So, there's a lot of what's the word, sort of not miscommunication, but a lot of, I guess, fibs of what goes on with people are charging and how costings work and all that sort of stuff, and it just varies so much.
Have you had any experience exactly like that? That someone came in to you and said, "We have 100 grand," and when you started pricing it, it was nearly double it, or even 50 grand more?
Yeah, right. And I think this is a really good question to ask if someone's going through this process and they've had a quote done or a proposal done by someone. If someone asks you, "What are you getting for that?" you should be able to go blah, 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 and outlay all that information the builder's told you and go, "This is exactly what we're getting." Where I find a lot of people will just go, "Oh, not sure, to be honest. He just give us a quote to do this on the plan." Ask yourself the question: Do you know exactly what you're getting? If someone asks you, "Is it floor to ceiling tiles?" Yes or no? Is it what type of tap are you getting? Oh, here. Is it what type of decking materials is it? Is it getting screwed, or is it what type of roofing material? Does it have insulation? Have you got all the paint included? This sort of question. You should be able to get the proposal and look at that and go, "Oh, yep, there it is there. Oh, yep, we've got a niche in the bathroom. Yes, it is floor to ceiling tiles. We're going to have a skip bin on site." All that, just that sort of stuff that, not a lot of people, I think probably 80% of the people going through renovation process, when you ask the question, would be especially when they're getting a few quotes, it's oh yeah, not 100% sure. It's just materials, labor, renovation as per plan.
Yeah. I think we don't send quotes out anymore, Joel, because we like to sit down with clients and tell them exactly what you're getting in the. Because if you send your detailed proposal to a client straight away, clients just go straight to the bottom and see how much it's worth and what's it going to cost and stuff like that. From my experience, but when I bring the digital proposal out and I sit down for nearly 90 minutes and go through every item, line item by line item, people are like, oh shit, I can actually see how much information and all the stuff that's involved in this renovation. I find that works very well. If you have nothing to hide, you're going to show them the price anyway at the end, let them know at the start, and then start breaking it down. If it's too high, you can actually go, okay, how do you feel? It's easy to take stuff off it then after that if they want.
Just being open and honest, and I think finding the best way. Some people ask the builders, "Oh, can you give me a breakdown of cost?" And they go, "No."
Yeah.
Straight away it goes, "What are you hiding?"
Yeah.
Like why can't you show me every line item? If someone wants every line item, I'll go, "Here's the cost of every single line item."
Yeah.
Or here's our margin percent, because that's that margin is not a markup. So every like Mick says, every business deserves to make a profit, but that markup is like your project. Well, it's not markup. It's project management. Like you're paying for someone to manage that job and put their labor and experience and knowledge and everything into that, and make sure you get a good experience. They can schedule trades in, and that comes at a cost, like everything else does. Like,
yeah,
it's honesty, I think, is a really good relationship to start with a builder. Like,
yeah,
finding that out with them from the start before you start.
Yeah, because if there's no honesty there, Joel, it's not good at the start,